Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we got the first of our several low-risk cell blocks completed, and as you can see they are quite lavish. We have comfy beds, bookshelves, toilets, sink and mirror, drain showers. Basically it's more equipped than a lot of people's flats, apartments, other dwellings, etc. In this episode we want to progress on and basically build as many of these as we possibly can. The first thing we need to do before that, however, is actually put some lights in this place, because quite frankly I forgot to do that because I removed some stuff, and yeah, and that's why they were not correctly lit. But there we are, that should hopefully fix the issue. And also, as we progress on through this episode, we want to keep an eye on the low risk prisoners that we get and how they interact with the rest of the facility. The idea with this cleared for transfer series was to have the prisoners want to go to the lower risk and also behave more, because that gives them access to better facilities. Now, at the moment, that's a little bit problematic because we've had some glitches and errors where we just can't set things like visitation up in a particular way. People have suggested many solutions in the comments, like splitting them in half and having them as like either a four area, so we have like a low, medium, and then high, or some other denomination of that, or also split it down the middle and have like a high and then a medium, low on one side. There's loads of different ways to go about it. Same issue for the canteen, it's been a little bit problematic, and obviously things like these common rooms and the gyms, which to be fair nobody actually uses. The problem with those is that if we go over to our logistics and our room quality, we can see that's a grade 6 and this is grade 10. So basically these are the highest grade you're going to get, which means that these prisoners who have access to that, because if we see over at our deployment here, these are currently set up to be accessible by anyone. It means that there would no reason for them to leave this medium risk to go to low risk, or at least attempt to do that and behave, because there's nothing for them to actually aim for. So what we'll probably end up doing at some point is cloning this down to here, and then we're simply going to remove the facilities from a lot of these areas. So we'll just see how that actually progresses on. Anyway, we can see we've got some prisoner intake set up. We've got 11 prisoners arriving at 8 AM, 10 minimum security and 1 medium security. 1 prisoner's up for parole. We have a couple in solitary, that's fine. The carpentry apprenticeship program we are cracking on with, and we have 10 superior beds. That's 70% completed there. We also have a cell block C, which has reached the prisoner capacity of 100 on a 66% of that one. Obviously, as we progress on with this, it should hopefully help out. And we also, well, we have a build a criminally insane wing, but it really doesn't matter because, well, we're not doing any of that. As you can see, I've placed all of the piping in here, but it was just taking a little bit of a time there. And what are they doing? This prisoner here is trying to escape. They're saying they're going to escape, but they're going to try, by the look of it, run to this fence and then over it. Let's go over to our guard response, and we'll put a guard response around here because we do have several guards hanging around here, and we'll see what happens. So Lee is trying to escape, and they have managed to successfully evade a couple of shots, and this is not working out. What the guards are doing, actually trying to run towards here rather than the actual problem, and they are now at the wall, and no, that didn't actually work out. Okay, fair enough. Let's go over to patrols here. I just want to double check that we have got patrols set around here, which is fine. We do need a patrol down and around and across. Let me set a magenta patrol up there along here and then up to this side, although I don't know if we'll have to go on this one, because this one on the left I believe is our solitary area. That's 15 and that should be 14 if, yep, memory serves. That's fine. So this is actually solitary, so we only need to go a little bit. I actually don't need to go as far as that, so I'll cancel those, but then I will go up there. We will go over to assign dog handlers, and I'll assign one to that patrol. We don't need to go on the front, I don't think, at this stage, although is it best to go completely around them? Well, yes it is, but we have a problem in that our patrols will intersect with this one here. Now, I could have changed it to a blue, but our general convention is we use the magenta patrol on the outside and the blue patrol on the inside. So going up to there, they'll at least clip some of this dog patrol, unless they sneakily go through here, but the chances are we would have found something by then. Anyway, it looks like our building is complete for the most part. Let's go to our quick build and then cloning, and obviously we'll select all of this here, and you can see it says 14 grand to complete that. So we will take out a loan because there is no reason why we cannot, and then we're going to clone once and then clone twice, and we will let them crack on with that, and we'll obviously knock it up to a max speed while they sort that out. In terms of money, we have decent intake, which will only increase as we get more prisoners. Naturally, it will fluctuate based on the amount of stuff that we make in the workshop. And speaking of workshop and that sort of thing, if we go over to our rooms here and to the forestry, if I change it so it's that, apparently that should now fix the issue with the prison labour, and indeed we can now set up the prisoner jobs. Up to 38 people can work in this area, which is very strange indeed. I do want to set this up so it's only graded for the medium and low risk, but again we've had some problems with that, especially when it comes to the kitchen and the canteen, although we'll have to see how we get on there. This is going to be set to MinSec only, that one, so there you are. It doesn't really matter what it's set as long as something is set there. Anyway, over to prison labour once again. I'm just going to double check to see if that is set up. Prison labour, yeah, we'll assign that there, and it's saying max jobs 7, qualified prisoners 22, but they're not qualified to go there because they're actually not graded, so there's a bit of a difference there. Over to our, where would it be, in programs here, we can see we've got lots of programs on the go. We can stop on those kitchen safety and hygienes, although I'm hoping that when we get these low risk prisoners, they'll want to work there, but at the moment, not so much. Going down the list, we've got workshop safety induction, kitchen safety and hygiene, all of that sort of stuff. But if I check out our prison labour here, it says required forestry labour. Well, it's not in there, so I haven't got it unlocked. Nope, no I have. Allow you to put prisoners to work in the forestry via the logistics menu. Forestry areas must be enclosed for prisoners to be assigned to work them and to prevent escapes. Prisons also require access to delivery areas in order to replant. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't plant in here. It means that they can work in forestry, but they can't plant in here. Via the logistics menu. Done that. They are signed. Max jobs 38. Doesn't say what the qualified prisoners are. And in the programs, workshop, kitchen, carpentry, foundation, general alcoholics, parole, spiritual guidance, behavioural therapy, pharmacological treatment, guard taser. There's nothing in there that denotes that they can be trained up in forestry. So I'll have to keep an eye on that one. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can select that door, although it doesn't look like that is the case because probably I'm in this menu. Yeah, let's lock that open, and we'll also do the same to that one there. Just double checking the power. Power is currently okay, but it will change as we power all of these ones up. So obviously we are going to get some more low risk prisoners as we build this, which is fine. That is understandable. Luckily now there's only really one area, which is this small area up here where the contraband can be thrown in. So that's something that we can bank on really. Once we expand, the contraband will only be able to be thrown in from this little area here where we can catch them and do that sort of thing. And there we go. There is actually a little pause for a second. We can see that prisoner Christopher Hoare, who is currently sleeping in the solitary area, and that's the first time that we've seen them do that, because quite frankly I believe it is the first time I've ever put a bed in the solitary area. But as you can see though, it's working quite well. They actually fit these cells very, very nicely indeed, so pretty happy with that. In terms of the prisoners that we have, let's have a quick look at our informants. You can see we've got a couple of traits across the board, nothing that's any great problem, and that says arranged 7.1 hours ago. I don't think that's ever going to be thrown in because of the where the wall is. Anyway, what's happening now is that the workers are cracking on to build both of these areas, which is fine. We have some people working in the area here. Actually, what I want to do a bit of a test. Let's go over to our regime here, and it's currently sleep time. It'll go to shower and then free time. I'm actually going to change it to yard just for today, because the yard and the gymnasium, people point this out in the comments, and I checked the wiki and a couple of forum posts. It seems that they will use the gym when it is the yard time, or rather they can use the gym when it's yard time. It's sort of interchangeable with the two rooms. However, they generally prefer the yard because it is outside, so that's probably why they're not using the gym. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see what happens when we have it set up as a yard time, so they have to they have to try and use some of these buildings. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to put it to the previous regime setup, and then I'm going to remove the yard just as we're about to go for that time again, or I might actually keep the yard time in. I haven't yet fully decided. In terms of staff, you can see that they are the cooks rather are managing to do both of these areas, which is exactly what we want. It's now shower time, so they will leave and obviously shower when they can. The low risk not here, but they have their own showers in there anyway. We can see that the shower time in here is really sort of not a problem for them, because they can shower there at pretty much any time they want. There's been some discussion regarding the protective custody and how this area has, well, I think someone pointed out less facilities than the low risk. That's not true. The low risk has a better cell grading, certainly, but it doesn't have access to the same utilities. It's certainly not within the distance that they have access to, because literally if they want to go for some table tennis or watch some TV or use the phone booth, whatever, they come out the cells and they can see the objects as they come out of that. So, and same as the food and stuff in the canteen. So yeah, a bit different. Anyway, we are now getting our 20 prisoners here, which is 10 normal risk and 10 I was going to say protective custody, 10 of the low risk there. We're going to go over to our, where is it? It would be in grants. 25 grand bank loan. Can't pay it off at the moment, but when we get these prisoners in, I might have enough to pay it back, because I don't necessarily want to keep hold of that grant there. I'm just waiting for all of this stuff to move off. You can see we've got loads of stuff to take off the trucks, and you can see the truck driver is now picking up from the back of the truck there and moves it off. I could probably extend that. Deliveries, let's extend that to, it doesn't really matter, but we'll place it to, say, there, and then all of the truck drivers now are able to pick stuff off. I remember when that update was introduced, and that was a really good thing. I thought, and oh, look at that teleport, it does cheat. It definitely cheats. You can see that's just all appeared there. But yeah, when the trucks come in, they would just wait there, basically. I don't know if there's a truck driver that stood outside. I don't think there was, but they used to just wait there until the workers used to pick them up and drop it off at deliveries, whereas now the truck driver will take one item at a time back and forward, so it's just good for moving that stuff off quite quickly. Anyway, we can see that we have, a lot of these prisoners, the medium risk prisoners, coming into this canteen, and that's understandable because, to be fair, the canteen itself is not set to any particular type of prisoner. If we go over to our deployment here, we can see that this is set to low risk and this is set to medium, but these both sides here are not set in any particular way. So that's probably how we're going to do it anyway. So maybe the low, medium and high risk can go to the canteen and all have the access to the same facilities there and the same food, although I will change the type of food that they can have in our policy here. So you can change the type of food that they have. So even though they have access to the same building, they won't get the same portions and that sort of thing. So that's fine, but in terms of the other buildings, yes, we'll have to tweak and change that, and that's obviously going to be a running thing as we progress on. Anyway, I'm going to max it out just because we need to get these prisoners in here, and it's taken quite some time before, yeah, there we go, they finally arrived, and that is a fairly decent amount of prisoners. Let's go over to intelligence and informants. We can see we have an ex-prison guard there, and a couple of unknown traits. So the ex-prison guard we will take a look at, so if we can find them here. This is Alex Hay, prisoner number 1920650, sentenced to 17 years for perjury. Ex-prison guard. The prisoner was once a police officer or some other law enforcement profession. Their life may be in danger. We will change those over to protective custody. Have a nice sip of lemon tea, and we'll see if there's anyone else that requires a move or alteration in their classification. And that person's got no body. And that's Ryan Sumo. So Ryan the Reaper, Ryan Sumo. So this is the artist for the game. Or I guess former artist. I don't know if they are currently doing the art. Don't think so. But either way, they are... Well, I mean, they've lost weight, certainly, since I've last seen them. Also, this person too. Oh, there we go. As soon as they get the clothes. I think it's because they don't have like a generic set of clothing when they come in, because it's all like the custom one for the person that they are, and the face in game type stuff there. Anyway. So let's just double check once again. Informants, we have ex-prison guard, I've set up that. We have volatile tough, a couple of other things set up, but there's other question marks there, unknown traits, but for the most part I think we've got that all sorted. Still waiting for the workers to crack on and build these two, but they are getting there, and we can see now that we have people working in here, and it looks like they are able, so this is Felix Holdaway, they are able to plant these trees, so that's good. We do have a problem though. You may notice that they are planting the trees right next to the edge of this. Now historically, in previous builds, what would happen when they planted them near the edge there, it actually has a tile, it's a 3x3. When you remove it, it would destroy the things around it, including walls. So I'm very much hoping and crossing many fingers, toes, other appendages, etc., that will not break that wall. It's not the end of the world if it does. All we have to do is remove the extra designation that we've changed on the forestry, put the walls back in. That's probably a bit more of an issue. And then just, you know, put up and shut up. But I don't know what the other solution would be if we can't do something like that. Also, I didn't check out that gym. I was too busy focused on the other stuff over there, so my bad. I'll have to check that out. I mean, I can do it pretty much at any time, can't I? Let's go over to regime here. I'm going to change this lockup to yard time, and then that back to free time. So when it gets to yard, we'll hopefully see them either go to... Well, we will see them go to the yards, but I'm hoping that they go to the gymnasium as well. Let's go to max speed and wait for that to change, and click. So this is where people are now going to leave whatever they were doing, mostly jobs or free time. You can see a lot of people are working in here. Let's actually double check in our policy. No, in our programs. We've got kitchen safety and hygiene. More people are interested. We're going to set more up there and reschedule all programs, even though... Ah, see that? I can put loads in, but it's not changing that. It's actually making it even worse as I add more stuff in. Wow, that's interesting. I'm guessing it's just... It's changing all the time. I'm guessing it's because of the designation that we have set, and that's another one, Wyatt here, who's trying to escape, and no, they didn't get very far at all. Anyway, it's currently yard time. I've got them set up as yard time. They are going to both yards, and oh, there's some people in the gym. We have some people in the gym. Guard response. Let's get them in there. See what this is like. Yes. We have people working in the gym. So we've got people on the punch bags. We've got people on the weight benches. People using the gym mats. We've got also people in the boxing ring too. So that's interesting. And now that they're in there... Oh, they were there until they then decided to leave. That's okay then. Right, so I think that requires then... Let's check our regime once more. I think that requires then a little bit of a change up in our regime. I'm going to change it so that we have eat time like that, work free time, eat like so, lock up still in the middle, so we still have those 4 blocks of work, but at the start of the day we're going to have 2 hours of yard time. So sleep, then shower, yard, eat, then all your free and work, which is a little bit harsher than we normally go with. Obviously we have just got the same regime for both sets of prisoners here. That's fine. We still want to have the lockup in there. I'll probably have more lockup. In fact, I'll probably have lockup a lot for the higher risk stuff. But this is all quite a fluid, dynamic system, and I say that over chaotic and uncontrolled. We have our overall plan, and it's just trying to accomplish it within the new systems and rules that the game has given us, because it's all something that's new to me. So there you are. Anyway, produce 10 superior beds. Still haven't managed to work on that or finish that, which is a bit of a shame, but there you are. We still are going to receive more prisoners, which is good because they are constantly building, both of these cell blocks. I do not yet have the utilities ran in there, and I will probably wait for both of these to be completed. 14 grand is left there with the receiving about 3 per day, and you can see that it is, yeah, successful for this forestry. People are actually working there. We'll just have to see what the long-term effects are going to be. And oh, we have some people fighting here. So it looks like there's a person being knocked unconscious there, and these fighting as well. So they're unconscious, and there's a couple of these as well. So I'm going to guesstimate there's no traits there. He's got no traits. He does have traits but he's not unconscious. He doesn't have traits but is currently unconscious. Right. I'm going to guesstimate that this prisoner here has a trait. So I'm going to change it to protective custody, because if we check their experience, oh, their recent misconduct was attacked prisoner. Okay, they attacked prisoner. Ah, that means it could fought. That could mean they fought back though. Okay, I'm not too sure what the solution would be. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Max speeding out while I get to the cells. There's an overdose, but immediately we've managed to take them to the infirmary. Sadly, it was via the classroom and then through the morgue. Very ominously. How many do we have? We have 2 doctors. I'm going to hire another one. I'm going to hire another 2, actually. Or an additional one, should I say. There we are. Going to do a shakedown as well. All areas. 647 places to search. Several items already obviously have been found throughout the course of the day. Still taking quite a while to build all of this. We have 12 workers. So, yeah. Hang on. Is that a tunnel? We found a tunnel. Let's go to remove tunnels. Get rid of that. Check all of that. Get to prioritise into that as well. So, a tunnel. Interesting that we found that. Glad we found it. And it didn't get very far. But, it's good that we found that. Happy. Okay. Gonna get some arrivals shortly. Looking across that list, a lot of cell phones and things like that. I'm going to stop the shakedown now, because quite frankly we've got enough to deal with all this intake and things like that. Actually says minus 19 daily cash flow, but I'm guessing that's not accounting for the stuff we make in here. Okay, it looks like this cell block is now completed. We need the utilities to be ran, and we'll do just that. So we'll run those to there. I'm going to run these as well to there. Max speed that out. This one shouldn't be too far from being built. I'm also going to hire a couple more gardeners, because as you can see there's a lot of areas for them to clean up. So we'll do just that. And we have the chief calling. We've just discovered that one of the teachers bringing the inmates from the class has been smuggling huge amounts of contraband. They've been fired, but the damage has been done at this point. So we've got loads of contraband now strewn throughout the facility. So we probably do want to do another shakedown tonight. That's something I normally do anyway. It's something that I think I overdo, but you know, it is what it is. Just looking around here, extremely volatile and a volatile. Couple of unknown traits, nothing on the arrivals there, and there's an overdose. And that guard, I mean, hello? I think that guard has not passed their perception check. Nat 1. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, they've asked for the GM for a reroll, and now they're taking them back to the infirmary. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and max speed that out. Let's make sure that this gets built sooner rather than later. We'll set up patrols in there. So let's go to deployment, patrols, blue patrol, and set that in there. Assign guards, 1, 2, and we can see just as I did that, they've now finished this as well. So that's pretty good. So all I'll do is I'll run this pipe work down. Don't know why I've got it paused. Might as well unpause it. Let them crack on. More overdoses there. I can see the bit at the top in my peripheral vision. But they are moving to the correct location. But by the time we get back, you can see they're already fine. So there's another... Well, what are we up to now? 86. 86. We have 2 more areas to clone to. We've got 27 grand. I'm going to wait until they've finished the... plumbing and the first and second fix electrical. And then we'll go ahead and build the rest of it. Very happy if we manage to build all of these in one go. I would like to get these 2 done followed by the solitary. That would be excellent. We'll have to see how we get on. Also, as I said, there's some discussion on what this could be. Many people saying make another workshop. Also saying we could add more visitation. Haven't yet decided. It's just an empty area. It doesn't need to be anything. We don't need to fill the entire facility. So I think it'll just depend on how much we can set up the grading, the multiple gradings, and what works and indeed what doesn't work. Anyway, so you can see the workers are cracking on to build all of these things here. We have a lot of early releases. I'm going to check that out. Let's go over to grading. Reoffending rate has dropped to 6%. I'm happy with that. We have a punishment rating of 7, reform rating of 5, security at 2, and then health at -1. So not too sure what we can do to increase that health other than giving them more exercise. I don't think more food is necessarily a positive one, although I think the well-fed trait does increase that. But it's like overdoses and things like that. It's the contraband that's brought in that can cause the issues there. Only 1 death in custody. It's still 1 more than we would obviously ideally like, but only 4 prisoners escape as well. Again, that's 4 more than we'd like, but for the size facility and the known issues with the original design, because this is obviously all iteration and such, I think we're okay. I think we're alright. We can see that we have loads of people working in there. Is that the Morris? We have the Morris. Mark the Morris. The original producer at Introversion, and worked with Chris DeLay on the game. We can see there they have their elf's hat on because don't actually have a good reason to say why they've got their elf's hat on, but there you are. And there's a 10 grand advance payment, which I believe is the... Yeah, that is the produce 10 superior beds from here. Excellent, that is good. Let's go over to programs. I want to see if we got general education qualification, 10 finished, 7 passed. Nobody wants to continue on with that one, so we'll knock that off. 7 in the queue for the alcoholics. Foundation, lots of people interested. We could put some more in the queue there if we needed to. Although I think 1 should be okay. Carpentry apprenticeship, people are still running on that one. Kitchen safety and hygiene, same thing. Workshop safety, that's good. The rest are fine there. Spiritual's fine. No point in the second one. General education, we've tied that off. No. Behavioural therapy is something we can't do, which is a shame. And pharmacological treatment and drug addiction, 7 in the queue. So we'll start that up. We need to start that one up. Sadly, we only have 2, 4, 6, 8 beds, so we can only do 8 at a time, but you know, there's only 7 in the queue, so it should hopefully be okay. Let's go over to our needs here. No. Policy. Going down to here. Select all. Recommend. So, I want to select medium. So the medium risk prisoners get medium quantity and medium variety, whereas the minimum get high quantity and medium variety. Alright. So that's fine. And they recommended, this is the parole cutoff. 40% for minimum, 30% for medium, 20% for maximum, super max 15, and protective and criminally insane 30% as well. So even though these guys have access to the same canteen, they get different portions. So, let's have a quick look. Total prisoners motivated to qualify, 8 prisoners are motivated to qualify. Total prisoners that qualify now, none. But we know that there's some motivation there, which is good. That's what we like to see. Happy with that. Okay, quick build, cloning. 1, 2. There we go. Over to our intake. Turn off that minsec intake. Don't want it. Don't want it. I want to have it so we build these, and then these guys go, ooh, we need to move over to that. That seems to be something quite good. That's what we are hoping to do. Over to our grants. Paying off that loan. Might as well. Bureaucracy. Offshore tax haven. We'll be morally bankrupt, but we will be not actually bankrupt if we get it. It will require me to get a loan out to do it. Let's set that on the go then. Juice our... At first it was, I believe... Was it a 30% tax rate standard? Then it went down to 15%, and now it's gone down to 1. Save a total of 3,000 per 10,000 a daily profit. So long term, I'll be alright. Okay, another shakedown. All places. Staff. Guard. 6 more guards. Reason being, and also another dog handler. I would like another extra dog handler actually, but there you are. The reason getting these extra guards, because we've got a total of 30 more prisoners, and also we've got lots of places to search. So it all comes in handy anyway. And the reason we're doing this search tonight is because of the amount of stuff that was brought in, apparently, over here. Let's have a quick check. Intelligence and informants, no. Last 24 hours. So saw was brought in. Cigarettes was traded but flung over the wall. Axe was stolen, traded, and then found. I wonder what they traded them for. That was brought in, that was traded, that was stolen, that one was thrown in. So, strangely, there's nothing saying it came from here, which is a shame. And that one's done some, that club there has done some mileage. Okay, so let's see where it was originally. Right, so this club, the club was originally stolen from the gymnasium. It went into the canteen, out into the mailroom, into the top medium risk cell block and hidden, brought back out and traded in forestry, and then did a couple of laps. It went into the low risk kitchen on the right, back out to the left near the library, back down to the right hand side, the bottom right hand side canteen, and then finally hidden in this guy's cell, and then it was found. So that's got some mileage on it. Certainly, and ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay, let's go over to informants. We have a couple of traits there: quick, volatile, strong, and quick, and no other traits. Obviously, the intake is not great because I've turned off some of this intake. Still keeping an eye. Oh, there we go. There is Turner, James Turner. Can't be that one, surely. Prison number 1920683. 11 years for multiple crimes including car theft and perjury. Snitch. Okay. Protective custody. There we go. Get that set. Get it going. Right, so we will check out more people that are turning up. Fearless there. A couple of other traits. At least I managed to detect that trait. That was good. Still others. Still not. Where are they being escorted to? Dan Scales have been escorted in here. I wonder why. Attacked prisoner and found weapons. Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's a thing then. Cool. Anyway, we're at minus money. One could argue that's a slight issue. We need to finish these cells and then get solitary. But I think we will leave it there for now. It's been a very, I think, good episode. We've made good progress. We've got 2 extra cells done. More prisoners. Fixed forestry. Put more lighting in. Ran some cabling. And kept an eye on the type of prisoners that we have. Overall, managed it, I think, quite well. 8 prisoners still motivated to qualify. But that's not a great thing. So you can see there's criteria value there. max, there's no max, and there's no super max, and there's nothing set up for transfer to go below low risk because there's nothing lower than low risk. And there is a prisoner trying to escape, who is currently, by the look of it, going to be successful. They're running to this, and they're going to make it. They are going to make it. Paul Dillon. Unless... No. There you go. They've managed to escape. The guards did not get there in time. Even though they ran past a couple of guards, they weren't stopped. That's a shame. That means that, yes, our prisoner's escape has gone up to 5. 7% for our reoffending rate. Hovering between the 6 and 7, but we started at 14, so we've halved it. So, pretty happy with that. Either way, we are going to leave it there. Next episode, good grief, there's a lot of raking going on in this area. We're going to leave it there. Next episode, we will continue on. At minimum, next episode, I want to build... Well, finish these 2 cell blocks, put all the cabling in, all of that sort of thing. Yeah, you're not going to get very far. All of that sort of thing. Build up the solitary area for low risk, and then build this gymnasium and common room, and probably then remove a lot of these items to strip that grading down. And hopefully that'll make prisoners want to transfer, and then we'll see about perhaps even expanding and planning out our topmost cell block, which realistically is just going to be a clone of this, but in terms of shapes and sizes, but instead of these fairly large cells, it'll be probably bunk beds with really garbage walls around the outside. Haven't yet fully decided. We'll see how we get on. Either way, hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.